Hello and welcome to another stretchy video slash moving yoga slash just a chilled mobility flow thing. Okay, but today's video is a little bit different. Rather than trying to leave pain and tension anywhere, we are going to try and get the front split. So it is a bit of a flow to get into it, but it's just really the stretches are all put together to just make it easy, like a routine that you do each time, and the more you do it, the more you will get your front split. So front split is where your legs are both I don't know how to explain it. Your chest is facing forward and your legs are facing, one's facing forward, one's facing back, just in case you weren't sure. So for those that are quite close to your front split, I don't know why I'm wanting to say front squat, we will need our blocks. And for those who aren't, you can do this too, and you will get eventually closer and closer to being able to do your front split. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start in a downward facing dog. So just starting in a down dog to release the hamstrings a little bit and to get them a bit looser, because you definitely need flexible hamstrings to be able to get to a front split. Yeah. Okay, so downward facing dog, just pedal it out, try to get your heels down to the floor and push those heels down. You can lift the toes up and then slowly place each toe down and try to push your sit bone up to the sky. Sit bones. Just chill there for a little bit, stretch it out. You can bend your knees close to the floor, push your chest a bit closer, and then push your heels back down. Okay, lift the right leg up to the sky into three-leg dog, and we're going to take your right leg and step it outside of your right hand, okay, into a lizard. Okay, and then we're going to put our knee down and just push forward. This is a lizard pose. Just to open up the groin, get a bit more flexible there. So each pose you kind of want to hold for about 30 seconds to a minute, just to actually warm up into it. You can move side to side, you can move forward and back, whatever feels right for you. And then we're going to walk. So swivel your foot towards your left hand, keeping your right knee by your right hand and going onto your toes of your left, and you're going to pull your leg back. This is a pigeon pose, and you're just trying to extend the pose. So you're trying to put both of your hips to face forward and then just bring yourself down, just to open up the hips a little bit more as well. Breathe through it. Nice and chill breath. Nothing too much. For some people, you can get your foot quite straight out, like in a 90-degree angle, but for others, not so much. So for me, I can't really. It hurts my knees. And if coming down and laying on your hands is too much, just go onto your put your hands down and lift your chest up. You can come down to your forearms first and then to your hands and gradually make your way there. You don't have to come all the way down straight away. Okay. When you're ready, go into the ball of your left foot, hands down, lift it up, straight back into three-leg dog, and put that foot down. Pedal it out again, downward facing dog, get those heels down, push the sit bones up, left leg up this time, straight up to the sky, step it forward, outside of the left hand, try and move yourself backwards and forward, and then put your right knee down, just get yourself into it. You can push your knee open so that you're kind of trying to open up your hip. But so whatever feels comfortable. Okay, and then when you're ready, swivel your foot over and get the knee in line with the left hand and foot in line with the right. And you can go onto your toes to try and pull your hip back. So you're trying to like almost bring yourself back. Go onto your hands first, get settled into the pose, then come down onto the forearms and then down onto your, you can, if you can, stretch your hands all the way out and just fly. This is quite an intense stretch for the hip, and there's always one side that's tighter than the other, and for me it's my left, so this is quite a lot. Those hands down, go onto the ball of the back foot, lift it up into three-leg dog, then put that foot down. Okay, we're going to take little tiny steps to the front of the mat and just hang out there for a little bit. So this is called a halfway lift, so you're just kind of pulling your spine and everything back and down, and then when you're ready just fold down and fold forward, so this is called a forward fold. You want your feet in line with your hips, well, yeah, and your hands, you can either take it to the outsides of your feet and pull yourself down, or you can take behind your legs and pull yourself forward. You're trying to get your head to your feet, and you're trying to feel the stretch in your hamstrings. Okay, coming down, sit down onto your butt. You can either, if you've got a big enough mat or you're on the floor, then just whatever's comfortable for you. So you're going to bring your toes towards your body, so flex your feet, hands straight up. So we're going to do a forward fold. We were doing it stood up just before, but now we're going to do it seated, so this will intensify the stretch a bit more. And you're lifting your spine out, so take a deep breath, and as you breathe out you're trying to fold at the hip, so you're trying to hinge forward. You're not trying to round your back, you're trying to keep your back straight and pull yourself as far forward as you can. This should only be felt in the hamstrings. So you can either take your toes, your fingers around your toes and pull yourself forward. You can take your feet, if you can't quite get there, your calves, hamstrings, knees, wherever you can hold, and just pull yourself slightly forward, but keeping your back straight. You really want to feel this at the hamstrings, so you want to keep your knees straight. You can have a slight bend if you don't have straight, if you don't have flexible hamstrings, and then eventually work yourself into getting straighter legs. Okay, when you're ready, take another deep breath in and then fold over your legs so you can actually bend and round your spine, so that will be a whole back body stretch. The longer you're in each pose, the deeper you can get into it, so just bear that in mind. Okay, hands down, step the legs through, back into downward facing dog. It should feel a lot looser now and easier to get into the positions. Okay, so you can go through that again, but we're going to go into the next bit. So lift that right leg up, step it through in between the hands, and bring yourself down. So just a forward lunge. Let's push it down. Go into the toes. Now we're going to push our hips back and lift our toes up to get a bit more of a stretch in the hamstring. So this is called half splits. So we're getting close to doing the full splits, but we start here. Okay, and when you're ready, push, so you can use your hands, push yourself forward, and you can go onto the toes of the back foot as well, and push yourself down. And what you want to do is make sure that your hips are still pretty squared to the top of the mat. You can have your hands there to balance you, and just try and work deeper and deeper into it. And when you're ready, come back through into half splits. Step that foot back. Three-legged dog. Step the foot down. Other side. Step the leg forward in between the hands. Lower it down. Go into a bit of a little baby lunge. Pushing those hips down and forward. Now one side's not the same as the other, so there'll definitely be a looser side. And also, don't compare yourself to anybody else. So my groin, sounds weird, my groin is quite close to the floor, but it doesn't mean like yours might be closer or further away. So comparison is the thief of joy, just bear that in mind. So yeah, we're going to go into our half splits here. So bring those toes towards you, flex the foot, and push those hips back and get that stretch on that hamstring. If this is intense enough for you, then stay there and eventually work to pushing your foot further and further forward. But if you're ready for full splits, put your hands down and work yourself forward. So this side for me is not as open as the other side, and this is where the blocks come in handy. So you can take a block, put it under the one foot, and alternatively you could put it under your hands if you can't quite get to the floor. Under the other foot, and just push yourself further into, so that way you can kind of push on that rather than your foot pushing on the floor. And then this way it elevates it a little bit. Okay. Remove your blocks and bring yourself back into a halfway lift. It's not as easy getting into the halfway lift as it is, out of the halfway lift. Step it forward. You leg dog, back down, knees down, and that's it. Front splits. So like I say, comparison is the thief of joy. Do whatever feels good for you. Use blocks and support where you need to, and the more and more you do something, the easier it becomes and the more open the joints become. And it doesn't matter your age, you could do this at any age. It's all about practice and about doing repetitiveness and consistency.